Shadows of the Empire, the AI movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I checked those out. I mean, it's like
not watchable.
It's definitely AI.
Yeah,
it's definitely, but it's interesting. It's an interesting project.
Yeah. So for those who are interested, so it's somebody did a full AI. I think it was more like 50 minutes or something of Shadows of the Empire, the book. Of course, you know it from the video game or from the cutscenes from the video game or whatever. But they tried to bring it to life. In fact, they cast Terrence Hill as Dash Rendar, classic Western star. And then I was like, oh, they also did Heir to the Empire, and they got Harrison Ford with a beard and all this.
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to say, it totally unwatchable, completely unconvincing in every way.
Han, nice to see you.
This is not a way to consume art. I've maintained always that, look, it can augment, it can do this, it can do that, but you can't sustain, you can't be like, oh, I just made the whole movie out of AI and now you'll watch,
Because I think of in the description, it's like, oh, I spent 3 months making this or whatever.
Can you imagine a number of generations that they must have done?
I know. It's very impressive, how I don't even know how they did that.
Well, you probably start with an image of the character, somebody that they are supposed to look like, a setting that you want them to be in, generate the image, a still image of it for me. Now animate the 8 seconds of the whatever. So it's a very, very iterative process.
I feel like it'd be expensive though. You don't, don't you do tokens or whatever, something?
I bet you they spent real money. Oh yeah. Oh, totally. To use AI is to spend money. No doubt about it. Especially the video stuff. They had Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in Heir to the Empire. She played some character.
Oh yeah, because they use for Mon Mothma and stuff, they use the Andor characters and stuff too.
Yeah, that actress. And then for Thrawn, they used the Thrawn from Ahsoka for Heir to the Empire. Some of them really struck me as the Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 type cutscenes. This is about on par with that.
Yeah, because some of the blocking is very flat and stuff like you would do for a PC game, and
very PC game, very Myst or something. As bad as it is, and believe me, the performances are bizarre, and the everything about it is discordant with. They need a new term for it. Remember when the Polar Express came out and they came up with the term uncanny valley, or oh, it's too close to reality that it kind of wigs you out. There's something like that going on here, but I think it's a different principle, which is by all accounts, you were watching reality and there's something terribly wrong with reality. I guess it's uncanny valley. It's just it's deeper.
It's uncanny valley, but yeah. And there's also definitely things that AI is getting wrong. I think Dash Rendar was on a speeder bike, but his hands were below the handlebars. The AI didn't know what to do with this.
But so as bad as it all is, at the same time, it's fucking crazy to be watching this.
No, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Right? You do have to have some appreciation for the fact, what the hell am I looking at? That is basically Luke Skywalker. A few years ago, they were check it out, Luke Skywalker, and it was a deep fake. And now it's that is pretty much the guy.
Yeah, Harrison Ford with the beard. It's oh, that's interesting. Whoa.
Yeah, I think there's an urge to say, well, they'll probably get that more right as time goes on, or that'll probably improve. I don't think so. Actually, I think you're probably looking at. I mean, look, clip me now and prove me wrong later. But I think the realism and the performances, I'm not sure it's going to improve dramatically from here. I think it has the training data that it has, and even just to make this, he had to spend a lot of money and really cobble something. He didn't type in make Heir to the Empire and it came out.
Yeah. And I'm wondering how much this video generation thing is even going to be something these companies pursue.
Yeah.
With Sora shouting down and stuff like that.
What was super weird in the Shadows of the Empire one is there's a scene with Luke and Yoda in Yoda's hut at the beginning of it.
Right.
And it's very obvious what happened. They took probably still images or a series of still images from Empire, from the scene where Luke first has dinner in Yoda's home. And then they brought that to life with the fresh dialogue and stuff. But the AI doesn't know that a still image of Yoda is a puppet.
Yeah.
They just think it's some creature. And so when he talks, it's not a puppet flapping. It's a puppet with articulated mouth movement,
Right.
which is in theory what you would have wanted if you were actually wanting to bring Yoda to life more accurately. And that's kind of more what the CG Yoda from the prequels is doing. But it's really fucking weird to watch like a puppet do that. I remember, fun story, when I was in the fifth grade, I think. That was when that was like 97. I got real into Star Wars. Shadows of the Empire, the video games, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. They were re-releasing the special editions. Super into Star Wars, reading all the books, Tales from the Bounty Hunters and all this. Which, like, if you went back to those books, they'd be so cringe, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not all of them. I mean, the Timothy Zahn ones, probably not. But I got it in my head that I was going to make the movie version of Shadows of the Empire. And I was going to do it with cardboard boxes. That was my plan. Cardboard boxes.
Just like James Rolfe, man.
Oh, don't you talk about my boxes. I like boxes.
Somebody told me that you can go to the supermarket and just take the cardboard boxes. They'll give them to you. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, they have extra cardboard boxes. I was like, okay, we'll go there. We'll, and we'll design our sets, and if it's on Tatooine, we'll go to the beach and we'll just shoot the whole movie. Obviously that did not happen, but what I did do, and sadly I don't have it to this day, but I did transcribe the entire book into screenplay format when I was in the 5th grade.
Wow.
In a spiral bound, and I thought I was real cool because I was like, here's the screenplay. And I remember I was in 5th grade math class and I was passing it around quietly to some friends to be like, hey, this is the movie we're going to be shooting, which, was kind of funny because, like, just a few years later that turned into a real movie, by high school. But I remember the teacher grabbed my screenplay and she was like, now it's mine and you don't get it back, and like put it on her desk or something. And I was like, oh, fuck that. Like, I need that. Like, that's very, very important. And I remember I just snatched it at the end of class and just left.
Wow.
I had it in my head. I was like, well, we're a little young for Luke and for Han, but we're going to do this. Me and my friends are going to play, it's going to be, I wish I had shot like a scene or something, but you know how we've been talking a lot lately about how 35 millimeter film, 16 millimeter film, like we just recently showed Gloria Napoleon Dynamite. That was shot, that was 2004 or something. And I think it was shot on 35. It just looks great. And
yeah,
I was talking to some asshole recently who was like, no, you can totally get just a digital filter and it will look just like film. What are you talking about? You can emulate any kind of look you want. And I was like, nope.
No,
because it's a lot more than just shooting on film. There's a lot more to it than grain or color. There's lensing.
You have to light a scene a certain way. You have to, just the fact that you only have so much film, you're shooting very deliberately. You probably do rehearsals beforehand.
The cameras are bigger, so more tripod shots. But I would just say, like, an outdoor shot on 35 millimeter film, it just looks so different than digital. I've never seen anybody emulate it anywhere close. And then you have different stocks, and you have stocks from the 1970s, and you have, it's all different looks. I think like the holdovers, I don't think it looks like film, actually. I think it looks like digital, but it has a film kind of like homage to it. It's shot the way that you would shoot it if you were shooting on film, and it uses some of those lenses. And so you get there kind of. All that to say, there were moments in this, because they were just literally taking the imagery from the originally shot stuff, or they were borrowing from other movies or whatever, where I was like, oh yeah, that actually totally looks like you shot it on old film stock.
Yeah.
Something I'm like, if anything could do it, it might be AI could make it look that way.
Right. Yeah. Like give it a pass to like make this look like film stock.
It'll be more expensive than just shooting on film, honestly. Oh, like Jabba too. Jabba's in it at one point in Shadow of the Empire, and he's got the articulated mouth thing too, and that's really fucking weird.
If anything, using this technology to enhance your film in small ways would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Is I think like it shows you that you can push this thing really far. Now, an entire movie done that way pushes it way too far. That's kind of what George Lucas did.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
Have you noticed that there's like way more George Lucas news lately than every time I open X or anything? It's like George Lucas shit. Especially, there was a deleted scene in The Phantom Menace where one of the racers died and his family was, they were at the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
His whole family's here today to cheer him on. We understand Mrs. Terrell just got out of the hospital, so we wish her and her family the best of luck today.
You sick fuck, George.
I heard I just learned that George Lucas loves the Minions. And I'm like, boy, does that make sense.
Well, there was a picture. He was like being shown stuff in his new museum. There was a recent picture of him. He looks pretty good. Like he lost a lot of weight, and yeah, he looks. People were like, "Wow, George, good on you, George." He's like 80 years old or something. Yeah,
He's one of our best and one of our strangest, George Lucas. There's the famous. I don't know if you ever saw the behind the scenes of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And Spielberg, who just had a movie come out, and I've been getting recommended a lot of Spielberg content lately, which has been fascinating. He was talking about, he was like, somebody said, "Hey Spielberg, what if you could remake a movie, one of yours, what would it be?" And he goes, "Hook." Now, I love Hook. And they were like, "Why?" And he was like, "There's no second act. Nothing happens in the second act." He's like, "There's a great opening, there's a great closer, but nothing in the middle."
Not enough of a second act that was compelling enough for me.
Interesting.
I thought it had a great beginning and a great ending, and it didn't have a middle.
And I was like, I think Hook's got a great fucking middle. Like when he's training with the kids and they got the food fight. I'm like, that's a great second act. You're crazy. But he was like, so, we had another idea for a Raiders picture. And they say Raiders, another one of the Raiders pictures.
Doesn't even know what his franchise is called.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. George Lucas is like, okay, they're going to be on a planet full of Chewbaccas. Like, you mean Wookiees? Chewbaccas.
The Gungans.
Gungans.
Hey, wait, Gungans? I thought they were called Gungas.
Gungans were Gungas. Gungans were Gungas.
And Han Solo is going to have his laser sword. So George had an idea for a Raiders picture, and he said, I want to do aliens. I said, George, I don't want to do aliens. I've done Close Encounters. I've done E.T. Of course, he went on to do War of the Worlds, and he went on to do this latest one, I think, is Aliens too. Disclosure Day. Yeah. And he came back to me and he said, maybe you're right about the aliens. We shouldn't do aliens. And I said, oh, thank God, George. Like as if George just rules everything. Like Spielberg has no say in the matter. And he's like, but have you ever heard of dimension theory? There's multiple dimensions. I said, yeah. And he said, so I think maybe it's an interdimensional being. And I said, well, what would they look like? And he said, they would look like aliens. I said, fine, George, we'll just do the aliens. That's true. Like a disproportionate amount of Spielberg's filmography is aliens. For a guy who has a lot of breadth to his filmography, like, that's a whole lot of fucking aliens, though. Did you know that Harrison Ford was supposed to play Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park? I don't mean like that was just somebody's idea. I mean like Spielberg bet everything. He was like, of course, you're going to be Dr. Grant. And Harrison Ford turned it down. And Spielberg was supposedly crushed. He was totally crushed. But he was like, oh my God. He's like, but Sam Neill did it and now it's his. And that's okay.
Sam Neill did amazing. I love Sam Neill in that.
Me too. But I was like, you were going to put Harrison Ford in a fedora again? Really? You were really going to do that?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
One more time with the fedora. I guess 1993 Harrison Ford would have been a little bit like Salt and Pepper, like Get Off My Plane. It would have been a little bit of a different thing. He was still handsome, but he wasn't like elderly, like pot smoker Harrison Ford yet. I'm like very uncharmed by elderly Harrison Ford. Like, obviously by the time you get to Crystal Skull, I'm very much done with him.
He's just like, who gives a shit? Who gives a
I'm not amused. I'm not amused by the who cares? That's not how the Force works. Like, what? I don't know what this is, but this is not what you were doing when you were cool. I don't know. Fly casual. That was you when you were cool.
I don't know. Fly casual.
There's a weird line delivery of his in Empire Strikes Back, where he's like, if you were hoping at something, this would be it, sweetheart.
Did you want to be around when I made a mistake? This could be it, sweetheart.
Instead of this would be it, sweetheart, he goes, this would be it, sweetheart.
This could be it, sweetheart.
Do you have a favorite Indiana Jones? Favorite Raiders picture?
Raiders picture. There's only 3 of them. I've only seen those ones. So, and I saw a little bit of the 5th one. I never saw Crystal Skull. It would have to be the first one. It would have to be Raiders.
The first Raiders picture. Yeah, sure. I like it too. I remember I was at a babysitter's. I didn't normally go to a babysitter's when I was a kid, but this was necessary. My mom was getting a part-time job or something. And I remember they put us down for a nap at like 3:00 in the afternoon. And I was like 8 years old, and they were like babies around, and they just like put us down for a nap with a bunch of babies. And I remember I kept making noise, and they kept being upset that I was making noise. And I just started crying at some point because I was like, this place sucks. I remember they fed me like wet green, noodles or something. It was disgusting. I was like, what, this is disgusting food. And again, I never really went to a babysitter's, and they were like, all right, come on. You can't be here like with the babies crying. And they sat me down, they popped in a movie, and that movie was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And dude, I sat there and I watched it all the way up until the faces melting, the Nazis' faces melting. I remember being like, okay, this is sweet. Like, this is so awesome that I get to sit here and watch this. But for me, I think probably in my order of preference, it would be Raiders least, despite how iconic and great it is. Temple of Doom second, and Last Crusade third. I think they just get better. But you could catch me on a Temple of Doom day. I love Temple of Doom.
I like Temple of Doom. Like, I think it's definitely my second one. And the thing is, I think they're all like pretty equal to me. Like, it would be hard. Like, it's really hard for me to like pick one. But Temple of Doom has the most like fun shit for me. It's like, it's fun. It's like stupid and like
I pray to Sheba, let me die. They make us drink the blood of the collie. I don't know. As a kid, I thought ripping a guy's heart out was fucking great.
Kalima.
And Kalima. We used to do that all in like elementary school and middle school. Just go up to Keith or something, and be like, Kalima. Rip your heart out. I love like the cutting the bridge down and dying in the alligators' mouths and stuff. It's so and the music in Temple of Doom is super underrated. It's like yeah, John Williams, he's like 94 years old or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll write you a piece of music if you ask nicely. He'll do it.
Oh man, does he still compose stuff? Really?
I think he does occasionally. Yeah, he recently wrote a new piano concerto. I watched it was like a Dateline thing or something with John Williams at age 80, and they were like, "How do you do it at age 80?" And he had a great answer. He was like, "Don't look too far in the future. Don't worry so much." He's like, just kind of work on today's score or today's music. Yeah. Like, don't be looking way out there. Because it'll come too fast if you do that.
It's better not to keep your eye on the finish line too much. Better to keep your eye right on what's in front of you at the moment.
It's good for any your daily life. Just take it day by day.
I saw Spielberg and Lucas, they all spoke at some John Williams Lifetime Achievement Award you can watch on YouTube. And they did some funny thing where they showed the first flying bicycle scene from E.T. just without the score. And so, it's just the sound of the bike and Elliot going like, ha ha, but there's no music. And he's like, Spielberg said, he's like, without John Williams, bikes don't fly. Dinosaurs aren't real. And it was like, yeah, man, like music is so big when it comes to movies.
Jason was saying with Mega Man 2 specifically, it's like, you only like those games because the music kicks ass. And it's true. I mean, like, the music does do a lot, but I mean, I thought there were good games growing up too. Like, when you rented a game in that era, in the early NES era, it most likely was going to be like a piece of shit. But when I got Mega Man 2 from the rental store, I was like, oh, ooh, this is something. But that music does elevate everything. Like, every single stage has the best music you've ever heard in a video game.
Yeah, well, I just think like the whole point of a movie is to touch your heart. And music is like a real shortcut to touching your heart. But the right music paired with the right visual is like transcendent. And I think like probably, I don't know, if you think of some of the greatest, the most like transcendent moving moments from cinema, there's probably a really good piece of score. And the chances that John Williams wrote it are not trivial.
Without John Williams, bikes don't really fly, nor do brooms in Quidditch matches, nor do men in red capes. There is no force. Dinosaurs do not walk the earth. We do not wonder. We do not weep. We do not believe.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.